There was once a young man named Rion who spent most of his days waiting for the right moment. The right moment to start working on his dreams. The right moment to change his life. The right moment to finally feel happy. He always believed tomorrow would be better. Tomorrow he would start waking up early. Tomorrow he would read, learn, grow. Tomorrow he would work on his goals. Tomorrow he would finally become the person he dreamed of. But tomorrow kept drifting further away, like a boat slowly disappearing into the horizon. And before he knew it, entire months had passed. Still, Rihan waited. One morning, after another night of overthinking and procrastination, he stepped outside to get some air. The sun was rising, quietly coloring the sky with a warm golden light. There was something soft about that morning, so gentle it felt like the world was trying to say something. As Rihan walked through the park, he passed an elderly gardener who was planting tiny saplings in the soil. Rihan couldn't help asking, "Sir, these plants will take years to grow. Why start now?" The old man smiled without looking up. "Because if I don't start today, they will never grow at all." Rihan felt something shift inside him. The old man continued, "Do you know the best time to plant a tree?" Rihan nodded. "Yes, 20 years ago." "And the second best time?" the man asked gently. Rihan smiled faintly. "Today." The gardener wiped his hands and looked at Rihan with warm eyes. "Young man, life doesn't change when time passes. Life changes when you start." Those words hit him like truth he had known all his life, but never listened to. As he walked further, he saw a young woman jogging slowly with an injured leg. She moved with pain, but did not stop. Rihan approached her and said, "You could rest. Why push yourself like this?" She replied breathlessly, "Because resting won't get me stronger. Movement will even if it's slow." Another lesson. Another whisper from life. Rihan kept walking until he reached the lake. The water was calm, reflecting the morning sky. He sat on a bench, thinking about all the people who kept going despite age, pain, limitations. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, they created it. For the first time in years, he felt quiet inside. Not empty quiet, peaceful. Just then, a little boy came running, chasing a red balloon. In his excitement, the balloon slipped from his hand and floated up into the sky. For a moment, the boy stood frozen. But then, instead of crying, he laughed, ran back to his mother, and asked for another balloon. To him, losing something wasn't an ending. It was just a moment. Rihan realized he had been treating every mistake, every failure, every delay as a reason to stop. But the boy showed him something simple. Life moves on, and so can we. And finally, life spoke back. Not through words, but through the gardener, the jogger, the boy, and the quiet sunrise. Life whispered, "You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin." With that clarity, Rihan walked back home. He didn't run. He didn't rush. But he walked with a new sense of direction, as if he had finally taken the first step on a road he had always been meant to follow. When he reached his room, he opened his notebook. The same notebook he had been meaning to write in 4 months. And for the first time, words flowed effortlessly. "I begin today." It was only 3 words. Simple, small, quiet. But those 3 words carried the strength of a new life. From that day on, Rihan made a promise. Not to be perfect. Not to be extraordinary. Not to do everything at once. But simply to show up every day. He started waking up early. Not every day, but more often than before. He began reading a little, writing a little, practicing a little. He learned to celebrate small progress, instead of waiting for big success. Some days were messy. Some days he slipped back. But unlike before, he didn't wait for a new month or a new year to restart. He restarted the next hour. Because he understood now. Life doesn't change when the calendar changes. Life changes when you do. And all change begins with a single step taken today.